Welcome back. In this session, let's discuss about MySQL functions, hands-on exercises. The first thing that I do is we will start with the very basic function that we have currently, and then we will continue having improvising the or introducing the new functions better. So very simple understanding. For very simple understanding, I'm just having the add numbers function, so which is taking the two input parameters and summing of those two input parameters and returning the result back to me. So if you see the schema of the function, I'm using the create function and the function name, passing the parameters that are required to be executed on my function, and I'm saying it will return a int and it will be deterministic, and we'll have the begin and end. Between and begin and end, I will be having the function body. So within the function body, I'm declaring the result as an variable which is a type int, and I'm summing up the two numbers that we are passing here, and getting the result of those two numbers and setting into the result variable, and finally returning the result back. So let's try to create this function, and when you create the function has been created. So if you want to see your function in MySQL developer, you can see the functions, the list of functions that are available on this particular database, right? So now once we create the function, how you call that function, right? So the functions can be called inside an SQL statement. So SQL statement, how you call an SQL statement? Using the select keyword, right? So the similar way you can call your function with the add numbers, right? Select add numbers and passing the numbers that I want to sum up, and I'm capturing the result into the sum, right? So if you execute this query, you will get the sum as this. So if you want to see, instead of sum, I want to say it's a result, yes, you can still mark it as a result. You can have the result 30 here, right? So if you take this functions implementation onto our actual tables that we have, right? So what I want to do is, we have an employee address table, right? In employee address table, I have the address into different columns, but I want to concat that address into a single column and with comma separated. The first one is address line, and I'll have a comma, then I'll have a city, comma, state, comma, and then country, right? So I'm creating a function like that. So what we have, I have the delimiter. So you know about delimiter, right? So delimiter is more to, as we have multiple statements inside this, to avoid confusion between multiple statements, so we just change the delimiter for the body, the function statement, right? I'm changing the delimiter to hash, and I'm changing the ending the delimiter and replacing the delimiter here. If you want to use other characters, yes, you can use dollar also, you can use, or any other characters you want to use, right? So once you have this, so I'm giving the employee get employee address, and I'm passing the employee number to this function, and finally it will return the varchar. That varchar is actually the address, okay? And this entire function will read the SQL data, so that SQL data is here. So if you try to create this function and see, the function has been created, and see, refresh here, you can see the function has been created. Now let's try to call this function, right? So calling the function, as we discussed for this very simple query, it's very straightforward, like an SQL query, right? SQL select get employee address, and as a address, I'm just fetching it as an address. So address, and I'm getting the 123 Main Street, New York, NJ, USA, and that is for the address line 1, employee ID 1. And if you want to get it for employee ID 2, you can still get the employee ID 2. San Francisco is coming up, right? If you want to see what is the, for example, you created the function already, and you want to see what is the query that you have, or what is the body that you have in that first function. So in that case, you can always get show create function, get employee address, and in the create function you will have entire information that is required for your I think you want to see the copy field. Okay, I can show you. This is the content that you have in that particular get employee address function, right? If you want to review. So mostly you cannot update the functions in MySQL. So there is no update option for the function in the MySQL. So what you have to do, moreover, you have to drop the function and recreate the function again, right? So there is no option to update the function in MySQL. If you want to drop the function, you can drop the function using the drop function if exist, and I'm just trying to drop the add function, and drop query has been executed successfully and the function has been removed. Or if you want to drop get employee address as well, you can drop the get employee address, and once you drop the get employee address, both the functions has been removed from this particular databases from this particular database. So this is how you create the function. You can uh, see the function schema, and you can read the function, or you call the function in your SQL query, and you also discussed about how you can drop the function from the database. Okay, so this is the basic hands-on exercise for the functions, and let's look into the user defined functions and more details about the functions in the upcoming sessions. Thank you for watching.